Ambra Books presents The Lost Secrets of the Italian Post Office, written by Amanda Weinberg and Silvia Mazzola, and read by Victoria Fox. Prologue. Bastiani, 1937. The only girls in a sea of young boys, Nina Caruso and Ambra Tizzani, had sat side by side in class since the very first day of school, compagna di banco, deskmates since the age of 6. They met every morning at the lavatoio, the laundry house, walking to school together, skipping along the alleyways. In summer, they would stop to gather blackberries and hazelnuts, dipping their feet in the fresh waters of the River Fastino. In autumn, they collected red and yellow leaves to fashion into skirts. Their afternoons were spent sitting on the bench outside Bar Renzo, in Bastiani's main square, sucking almonds and dreaming about life beyond the black silhouettes of the Menade Mountains. Today, Nina, eyes fixed on the page in front of her, prodded her friend sitting on her right. "Ambra, help me. What's the subjunctive of the verb to do?" she whispered. The air in the classroom was heavy despite a breeze coming from the open windows. Ambra's lips curled into an expression of contempt. "Leave it out. It's only a stupid grammar test. No one uses the subjunctive in this whole of a village." She tossed back strands of light brown hair, mouth half covered by fingers with bitten nails. There was a knock on the classroom door. The headmaster, Preside Battelli, stepped inside with a long stride. His features were sterner than usual, his mouth stretched in a hard line across his jaw. The class rose like a wave, their arms darting forward in the Roman salute, their feet stamping the floor as their bodies stood to attention. He motioned to their teacher, Maestra Anna Martinucci. They stood together in front of the desk, mouthing words too soft for the class to hear. Maestra Martinucci turned her face towards the class, her eyes wide, her rosy cheeks pale. She motioned to the rest of the class to sit down. "Will the class please continue with the assignment? Caruso, Tizzani, go with Preside Martelli." Ambra strolled to the front of the class, hands deep in her pockets, unfazed by her classmates' eyes glued to her. Nina, head bent and socks rolled down to her ankles, anxiously twirled the blue ribbon of her school apron. She trudged behind Ambra. The girls followed the headmaster, past the framed photograph of Il Duce, hanging on the wall above the blackboard, next to the wooden crucifix. They passed the poster issued by the Ministero Educazione Naturale, displaying the image of a boy with a rifle slung across his shoulder. Preside Battelli ushered Ambra and Nina from the empty silence of the corridor into his office. As he related the news, Nina dug her nails into the palm of her hand. Her father, tall, hook-shouldered Gaetano Caruso, was no more. Dead in action, in the Spanish Civil War, fighting for freedom. Her father was the one who had protected her before he left the fields and the family to volunteer in a country that wasn't theirs. Fighting for the socialists and the peasants in a faraway war to uphold his principles and beliefs. Were they more important than her? She glanced at Ambra standing tall, statue-like, as if she in turn had not been robbed of her mother, Agostina, by cancer. As if her world, both their worlds, had not shattered into a million pieces. Ambra walked through the glass doors into the warmth of the early October afternoon. She marched ahead, the hem of her skirt rising and falling against her calves, her shoulders hunched and tight. Nina staggered forwards, trying to catch up with her friend. The shared destiny of the half-orphan added yet another layer to their friendship. They were both alone, both burdened by unexpected sadness and loss. "We are the same, both half an orphan," Nina said, catching up with her friend, "and both only 12 years old." Ambra reached out and wound her fingers through Nina's. With a voice of stone, she said, "Let's walk for a while together. I can't go home yet. I can't face the smell of my mother's medicines and know they haven't cured her." Nina understood why Ambra couldn't go home to the post office and encounter the silence. She had watched Ivo, Ambra's father, move the sickbed into the storeroom, bringing with it the odour of medicine.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?